love it when games do that. Oh, what can I? All right, let's get us a thing. Let's get us a thing. We're gonna take off the starting soon. Um, okay. I do not have a game to show you right now because the game literally just closed itself. That is amazing. Oh my god. I don't own Steven's sausage roll. It's very expensive. Um, Man. Okay, so let me. I think Twitch now requires me to switch categories, so I'm gonna switch categories. Playing IRL. IRL. Okay. So let's discuss that a little bit. I'm gonna have chat open. I have switched my category. Oops, let me actually update. Let me update. I'm gonna pause for a second for like 5 seconds or so so that I can break the uploads to YouTube. Alrighty. So that was uh that was the witness. The thing is, like, when you're just kind of chatting with your chat and you're not actually playing the game, I think you're supposed to switch to IRL. Can't do talk show because I'm only one person. But IRL is intended for like discussing reactions to things. Anyway, whatever. I'm gonna be talking about my thoughts about The Witness. Holy crap, was that a good ending to the game? When we got into the mountain and we had those audio logs that were like the I think it was Ashley Johnson testing going to the island and then coming out of the island and stuff. She like mentioned, I couldn't really remember anything, but some things changed. I really wanted to do these certain pieces this way. Um, and now they've made it so you can wake up whenever you want and you can stay there for a very long time. Like 80 hours in my case. And so when when that happened, I was like, I really want the game to end with me waking up or with some sort of a waking up sequence. And yes, exactly, Ubermans. Um, the just dipping a toe in and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and so I was like, I really want the game to end with me waking up, but I don't know how that's gonna fit with the aesthetic of the game. And I think that was so cool how they did that. It was somebody waking up from going to the island and experiencing that. And someone commented about overacting during that. Ulysses. Well, it was a little bit overacted, but like the only thing that like honestly the only thing that bugged me was when he like kind of almost passed out. He immediately got up and was walking again, and I was just like, whoa, when you pass out, you don't just get up again. Um, I wanted the I wanted the game to end with us waking up because it was hinted that that was the true ending um, of what the witness was. It was like a dream world created by four people to send you to and let you have sort of a break from reality and from drama and that kind of stuff. And that was hinted at the audio logs in the mountain. I got them in the other order, so it was a little odder. Yes, more weak legs. Yeah, weak legs would make sense, but still, like you don't immediately get up and get walking. Um, anyway, so that was like the only thing. Like he definitely kind of did the tapping on the circles, maybe more than necessary, but like whatever, it drove the point home. I also really liked like during that I was trying to click on stuff too. I kept like moving my mouse, especially when he got outside and there was that little like stone carving thing. I wanted to click on it so that I could solve the puzzle because that was ridiculous. Um the clever. I assume you're quoting something, G Nintendo, because that's, I mean, clearly that wasn't my experience. Um, I sleep well tonight, probably. I just, yeah, I am blown away by the ending. And so Undertale did that. I'm sorry. Spoilers for Undertale. If you don't want some teeny little bit of Undertale spoiled, um, then maybe mute me for the next 5 seconds. So Undertale did this thing where it closed the game on you at a certain point, and I thought that was amazing. And so I like it just like it viscerally pulls you out of the game, um, and just is like so it's so like wow, it just did that. That's crazy. Um, and yeah, so I love that it's just like no, you're done. This is the end. We're closing the game because you're done. You don't need to do anything more. Ah, it's so cool. Um, I really appreciate people kind of chipping in towards the end when I just like wasn't sure what was up with the audio logs and stuff, and like I just straight up wouldn't have found them if I wasn't streaming this and I didn't have people to tell me, oh, look at the lake. It tells you like stuff about the game. I think that's really, really cool. They included the lake, but hard to discover um, unless you have a keen eye for like projective geometry. So like that was so cool that they included that, but just I would have literally never figured that out on my own. Most of the other stuff, like I think the gate thing, if I got to the gate early, I would have been really confused and been actually stuck and not sure what to do. And done like the final ending sequence early, I would have just been super confused. But most of the other stuff, like I felt like it was reasonable for me to try to figure out without outside assistance. I would not have figured out the lake. I would not have found out all the audio logs. Um, I think I would have finished all the obelisks. I think so, because I think I did those all blind. And I would have missed that one puzzle. Oh man. Um, Wait. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Does the game look different for different people? Is this at all procedurally generated? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Tell me more, Wandable. I am so curious to hear about that. The lake looked different. Oh, the lake looked different in the sense of like um the things being closed or sunk or not fountainy or whatever. Is that what you mean? Not like the outline changed, because that would be insane if there was any procedural generation in this game with regards to the layout. Um, Thank you, Ubermans. Um, so yeah, I think like that would have been really, really hard to discover. Most of the other stuff, like with a lot of persistence, I think I could have, I think I could have done. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for the clarification, Ulysses. I was like, oh my god, how do you make that work? Um, I see. And I guess like when you swoop over the lake in the elevator, maybe you can see some of that stuff changing. I don't know, cuz like when you swoop over it, when they say a lantern, you're flying over the lake and you fly over the lady in the lake who's holding a lantern, and maybe you can see that things are changing then. I didn't notice because I was like losing my mind when the elevator flight was happening. Um, yeah, so this is without a doubt my favorite game that I've played. Um, the one thing that makes me sad about it, like there's some things that I think, mm, there's some things that I wasn't sure if I was just behind the curve with, and like were harder to do than others, or like how I don't know how I compared to other people. I'm gonna sure as heck find out. Um, Oh, she was underwater before the elevator. That's really cool. Yeah, I totally didn't see the Doritos. But like that's okay. Some things just take a little bit longer, and sometimes like there's a freaking swoosh on the beach, and you just don't find it for 2 or 4 plus hours. But the thing that I think makes me the most sad about this game, and this is gonna sound like a weird criticism, but I'm gonna explain it, is that it didn't have any music. Um, and so the reason that is I mentioned, so this is my definitely my favorite game. My other, I'm gonna give like top five favorite games roughly before this one. So, and not in any particular order. It was like Samorost 3, Machinarium, Anti-Chamber. Um, I really like The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and there was one more. Oh, Undertale, Undertale. So those were like my previous five. Some other ones I liked, include like really liked a lot to the point of differentiating from most other games are like Thomas Was Alone, um, a bunch of little point and clicky type of. Oh, Night Sky I actually really liked. It was very just like calm and relaxing. And there was maybe a few others that that sort of were notably good, but I'm just not thinking of them right now. The one thing that those games all have, sorry, no, I should have clarified. Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker. This is games that I've played in the past like 5 or so years, because I have a hard time like comparing. It's hard for me to compare like Wind Waker to Ocarina of Time just because of like the difference in gaming technology. Um, anyway, so all of those games have a soundtrack. And the reason that that matters, not that this game didn't have a good, like, not that it didn't have good sound. There was all sorts of sound effects, there was ambient noises, and I never was in the game and just felt, man, I really need music here. But the experience of playing the game was amazing, and it was long too. It was like I spent like at least 75 hours actually playing the game as opposed to just time when I accidentally left the game open and wasn't actually playing. um I haven't played Last of Us yet, so that's why that's not on the list. um but now I get to hear the music every once in a while. I own the Machinarium soundtrack. I Pardon me, I own the Samorost 3 soundtrack. I own the Anti-Chamber soundtracks slash whatever the other thing you want to call it is. I hear Legend of Zelda music all the time, and it brings the nostalgia feeling as well. So, like, not only do I have the experience of playing those games, but some of those games I played a long time ago and I don't really necessarily remember all that well. Uh, but I can listen to the soundtracks and feel the same happiness that I felt playing the game, listening to the soundtrack. And so so Gina and Tana, you mentioned Wind Waker is 15 years old. I only played it a couple years ago. I tried to play it when I was younger and I couldn't finish it because I got lost. Um, and so that's a good point, Vex, that it would be distracting if there was music the whole time. But like Anti-Chamber has some sort of a soundtrack. Oh my god. Sorry, I saw Wandable's comment about Hall of the Mountain King. And like when I hear that song, I'm gonna feel, good and nostalgic, but I like never hear that song. Um, but like Anti-Chamber, a game that felt to me extremely similar to this, except shorter and not quite as crisp and polished, it still ended up with some sort of a soundtrack thing. I actually listen to it when I want to try to fall asleep because it's so like calm and relaxing. And there was some little bit of like musical stuff. Even if it was kind of ambient music, it was still recognizable music that makes me think, oh, Anti-Chamber. Man, what a great time I had playing that game. Um, yes, and I am planning to watch a bunch of playthroughs for the same reason Uberman's. But that's the only reason that I miss a soundtrack in this game. It's not that I felt like the game needed it. It's not that I felt, something was missing. And oh god, not the bird songs either. That would be the worst. Um, and so Antichamber didn't have music, but it had like atmospheric music that was enough that they just made it into a soundtrack that I got with the Humble Bundle when I got it. Um, Although I don't remember if I bought it on Humble Bundle. I think I bought it through the Steam store. Whatever. I have two Antichamber soundtracks. One is called A Meditation Walk with Antichamber, and one is actually the OST. A Meditation Walk is um, a little bit more listenable to actually, but it's still like it has sounds from the game, and it just like makes me feel that nostalgic like, wow, this was such a cool thing. Um, this game, I don't think it has a soundtrack published. Does it actually have like some sort of a collection of noises from it? Um, that's true. When I see circles and like every time I walk through that hallway in my department, I'm gonna be reminded of this game. So that is a good point. It really does like the ending was kind of corny with well mixed feelings, but like it had a lot of like a little bit excessive potentially clicking on circly things, but um, it you're right. That is going to help. Well, help. That is going to give me some of that nostalgic feeling. It's just like seeing circly things and like smiling at them and being like, oh man, there was a time in my life where I spent a couple of months just looking for circles. And I'm actually really strongly considering getting some of those prints. I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna see if I can look up the witness prints. Printable panels. Here we go. I'm gonna link this. This is the printable panels. This link is gonna come to you probably before you hear me saying this, but this is the thing. In that final scene, they had some of these up throughout their office area, and those are them. Um, they mentioned it would be pretty cool um, if you made witness monitor style frames for them. So honestly, like I might just buy some of those and just hang them up in my room and then like feel the nostalgia. Um, I'm hearing your concerns, Vex, but at the same time, like I think Antichamber showed that it can be done well. Even if it's just like kind of quiet ambient stuff. Um, it like that was what I was just like not like music, not like a full like soundtrack that you'd like download so that you can do work to it because it's like super upbeat or anything like that. I think that definitely would have detracted. But like I feel like I feel like there was potentially a way that you could have done that in this game. But the fact that that's my primary criticism of this game is like that's nothing. Like that it's totally fine. I'm not gonna like ever tell someone, yeah, I love The Witness. It was a great game, but it doesn't have a soundtrack, so like, eh. More like the ending pillars ambience. Ending pillars. Yes, like that, but then just collect those noises. Thing that sticks with me and hopefully with you. Think about the experience playing the game. Yes, that's true. That's a really good point, Ubermans. Need a dubstep soundtrack. Um, yeah, it will fade. Like to me, dreams fade in a very similar way that like distant memories fade, and so that's a good point. It'll feel very similar in the sense that like you take a break from reality, you go to this island, you enjoy your time there, and then you leave it. So that's a good point. Um, yeah, so Final thoughts. I I love the puzzle aspect. I think I really liked actually the um, sort of search for truth with the capital T kind of thing where they juxtaposed like scientists' thoughts and religious folks' thoughts and religious science folks' thoughts and artists and poets and all sorts of stuff. I thought that was just really cool. I really, really loved the sort of um, nebulousness and the like. I don't know. I thought it was. I didn't think it was like this really. I didn't think it was this overbearing or like hipsterish or whatever other people are criticizing. I thought it was really neat. I thought it was an interesting exploration of different people's thoughts on like religion and on science and like what truth to them is. I thought that was really well done and very tastefully done. I thought it actually wrapped up a lot more crisply than I felt that Braid did, although I never got the second ending in Braid, so. But like, I liked how it was kind of like a nebulous thing. No, physics isn't hipster, but some people in reviews called it like a hipster thing. I don't know what was up with that. Um, and sorry, I'm trying to remember my train of thought fully. Um, so I really liked the recordings. I liked how it had the puzzles in it. And I thought, oh, it wrapped up more cleanly than Braid did. Like the us waking up at the end in that little movie felt like a very, I feel very finished. I feel no loose ends at this point. Also partly because y'all helped me find all the audio logs at the end. Um, and so I felt very resolved at the end, which I wasn't necessarily expecting to have happen. Like, I kind of wanted it to happen, but because of how Braid was done, I wasn't necessarily expecting that to happen. So that was pretty neat, too. And I liked how there was still, just a little bit of uncertainty during almost all of it. I think it has great insight. Yes, I agree, Rubens. I agree. Ah, that's cool. I think so. I don't remember if I had clicked on it properly. Do you mind relinking that, Vex, so that I can like just make sure that I actually have the link? I was planning to. Oh, I was planning to look it up in the VOD later because I didn't want to click on it in case it played something. You don't have to relink it, but if you just happen to have that lying around right now, I wouldn't mind so I can bookmark it or something. Um, but yeah, that was a great experience. I am so happy to have played that game, and I like that that's your copy paste, Vex. That's amazing. Um, So I also want to give a huge thank you to everyone who like watched more than a trivial portion of this and didn't spoil me on stuff because that takes an amazing amount of patience. And I had such a great experience playing this game, and it would have been a lot more frustrating if people were like telling me how to do things the whole time. Being able to figure it out for myself felt very rewarding and made me feel much more immersed in the game world. So thank you all for being super awesome while I was streaming this. Um, yeah, and I think that's that's most of my thoughts about it. Does anyone like have any final questions that they want to ask me before I end stream or anything about my thoughts? Or any thoughts you have about the game? Oh, actually, I did want to ask Ubermans. You mentioned like um, the river puzzle. That it was about a certain thing. Do you want to mention what that was? Because I still not quite sure what the point of the like little puzzle that was um, kind of following the path of the river, and that was something I was curious about. My guess was that it was like intended to be as though it was like a man-made thing and they were turning on the river, but I'm not 100% sure. Thank you for the link, Vex. I'm going to actually copy that now. Panel at the top of the mountain. Yes, the panel at the top of the mountain with the one that follows the river. Is that what that's supposed to be? Teaching you environmental puzzles? Man, because I had the... For me, that was... Oh, I see. I went to the mountain really late because I didn't want to go up to the mountain prematurely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. In case they hadn't been discovered yet. Okay, yeah, I went up really late, and I forget which one was the first one I had clicked on, but there was like a really obvious one, and I just like was shocked when I heard it. Oh, I see. Okay. I think it was like the ones in the swamp where it was the purple swooshy things. That was like either the first or the second. Go ahead, G Nintendo. Very cool. When do you get the drugs? No drugs for me. Sorry, G Nintendo. I woke up and now all the pages are gone. I'm glad you guys... yeah, I'm so excited to watch Day 9's playthrough. I'm so excited to look at speedruns and see what the speedrun route looks like. I'm like, AGDQ did this last year. Or not AGDQ, I think it was SGDQ. Whatever. One of the GDQs did it, and I'm so excited. So I'm very like I enjoyed playing the game so much, but it's kind of hard to not look at spoilery stuff. And so, yeah, it was kind of hard being blind the whole time. So I'm looking forward to not having that restriction anymore. And I have no idea what game I'm gonna stream next. But I'm happy to like chat more about The Witness in future streams because I'm so like excited about this game and just so stoked about it. Yeah, I'm also curious who you're asking that to. I am a computer scientist right now, but I'm kind of also a mathematician. So I'm a computer science PhD student, and so that means I do a bunch of research. I do image processing stuff, which involves like half math, half computer science. Yeah. So that's me. Alright, I think I'm gonna end stream here. I'm like super late to bed, but I'm so excited. I think Basing is streaming right now, so I'm probably gonna throw it over to him. Once again, thank you guys so much for coming and watching me play this game and being so super patient. Yes, 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 yes. I'm thinking of playing a game that I'm not gonna play super blind so that people can comment more next time. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna be done now. Thank you guys again so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your night or day, whatever time it is. I will see you. Well, maybe next time, whenever you pop by stream again. Toodles.